convert myself into UI UX design, and I am trying to hopefully be. I think I want to do a lot of roles at the same time. I'm also a part, like I paint, and sometimes I try to post it everywhere. So maybe like a successful painter, UX designer, just multiple roles if I get better at it. So my vision in life is right now that, once I'm good at UI UX, I would like to work in, I don't know, a company, and I think keep making better designs and hopefully invent a style that has not been there. So that's it. I mean, yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
okay. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you for that. Next, Ritik, if you can talk a little about yourself and why you want to pursue UI UX, what's your goal? Okay, so I think his message. Um, okay, all right, cool. We'll take this as the reply, no worries. Next, Haima, if you can proceed with your introduction. Haima, am I audible?
Sir, I want to text, sir.
Sorry?
I want to text message, sir.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, that's fine, Ritik. Yeah. So, Khushi, if you can proceed.
Hi Harsh, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'm currently working as a HR and also parallelly I'm part-time working as a graphic designer. So although it was more of I'm falling up with the passion and I'm a person who wants to learn new skill. So I think it's the right time where I'm looking for a career change and like to have a creative learning. That's why I'm working as a graphic designer also. But like doing some homework or came to know about the scope of the UX designing. So I just want to jump out into the career, into the UI UX designing, and moreover, that is the only agenda where like I realize it late to like what is my interest and how I can work on it. So that is all my passion I'm following, and I want to work as UX designer.
Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool. Thank you for that. Neha.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, am I audible?
yes.
Hi. Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Neha Sangvi, and I have an experience of accountant as an accountant for more than 3 years. And actually, I was finding some switch because I'm not very interested in accounts with numbers. So I found this UI UX. So I'm just exploring this field and I'm very glad to have this.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have reply from Haima as well. BSc graduate, digital marketer, want to learn areas, build skills. That's why I do this. Okay, thank you so much, Haima. Next we have Nitin.
Yeah, hello, sir. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Uh, Sir, as I told you, like from past year, I'm working as a teacher in a CBSE public school. So, where I was teaching students computer science, but apart from this, I want to grow my career as well. So, I found out like there are a lot of careers in IT. So there is DSA programming, and you can say like software engineer. So like as a coder, I tried to be a front end developer, but as I told you, like DSA is the main problem. That's why I found out like UI UX is the main like it's a good thing. We can create websites without any coding or without any DSA, and apart, like if I talk about my hobbies, so there is a creative side of me. Like I like to drawings, I like to draw and paintings. So I thought that this is the very blended kind of a job, like creativity plus technology. So I think it's a good job. It's a good role for me. That's why I came here to learn about the UI UX. That's from my
Okay,
side. Thank you, sir.
okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Nitin. Next, Sandeep. अच्छा, आप थोड़े बाहर हो. ओके, नो वरीज, ठीक है. सुदर्शन. सुदर्शन.
Hi sir, this is Sudarshan from Bangalore. So I had done my diploma in computer science and engineering. After that, I had worked as a web developer for 4 years in
Oh
Weave
wow.
Technologies. So and I'm running my own company, IT company. So I just want to upgrade my skills with UI UX, and I'm very interested in this UI UX. That is why I joined the course. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, great, great, great. Thank you so much, Sudarshan. Next we have Swati.
Hello. Hi everyone. Hi sir.
Hi. Yeah, yeah,
Am I
yeah.
audible?
Please continue.
Yes, yeah. All right. So I am an interior designer and I've been working in this field for past 4 5 years. Um, so along with this field, I just wanted to build my skill set more, and UI UX seemed like a nice option to go around with because everybody's just growing digitally, and to be enhanced with the world, this seemed like a better option to do alongside. And being from the creative field, this is like a mix of both. So that's all.
Okay, okay, cool. Thank you, Swati. Vinti.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, currently I'm working as a social media manager, and I opted for this course for a career change as it aligned with my creative side. That's why.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. So I see that there are many working professionals in this particular batch specifically. We have a couple of digital marketers, we have interior designer, we have as entrepreneur with us, Sudarshan. We have guys working as graphic designers. So it's going to be an interesting batch, and this is going to be my last batch. So I'm happy that I have a bunch of guys who are already part of design somewhere or the other. Someone is interior designer, someone is doing something else in the digital field, someone are developers. So I'm sure that it's going to be fun with you guys. So a little introduction about myself as a mentor. So honestly, uh, this course is not the earning source for me, to be honest. It's more for the mentorship. It's more to give guidance. It's more to give back to the community. All right. The reason why I asked for a nominal fees is so that everyone of you are sincere enough to join the lectures, because once you see that the lectures are for free, you take them for granted, right? So that's why we have those nominal fees. Else I could have charged a lakh or something like the other courses that we have online. So yes, coming back to myself, I am in this field for 11 plus years now. A lot of you guys must be thinking that Darasal Pele, I mean, 11 years before, we didn't even have the field of UI UX. That's true. But the thing is, the field was there. It was not termed as UI UX. Initially, we used to design the wireframes on Photoshop. We used to do it on Illustrator. At that time, it was just rough sketch, layouts, whatever we call it. We didn't even call it wireframes for that matter. We did design also 11 years back. Again, in Photoshop, there were no tools as such. After a very long time, came a tool called as what was InVision. wherein you can design on Photoshop and you can just add those designs on InVision and prototype them so that you can link and everything, right? So that is how my journey began. I used to be a front-end developer at the bottom, at core level. I'm still a front-end developer. I used to work more than 7, 8 languages, you name it, and probably I would have worked for that front-end language. By God's grace, I could understand. I could start coding in any of the front-end languages in 7 days, right? So even for that matter, backend languages like Node and PHP. So it always fascinated me because it is magical how you enter alphabets and the outcome that you see on the browser is something visual. So that was magical to me, and that is why I started coding by myself when I was in 8th standard. Right, so I have been associated with design, with websites, with everything that we see nowadays in a very early age, and that's why till date I feel it very exciting to work on the projects. Honestly, I cannot be someone who can just work on one particular thing on every day, right? So that's why I work with an agency where I get the opportunity to work on different projects every day in day out. There are challenges, there are problems that I can solve for the clients, and this particular thing is for everyone that we as UI UX designers, even you guys now, term yourself. I term myself as a bridge between the users and between the business, right? So we are the bridge. So we have to take care of the users, we have to take care of the business as well, right? So that is what I love the most, understanding the business, solving the problems, giving the users what they want at the same time, not hampering the business, right? Even that is equally important. So yeah, that's about me. I worked, one last thing, that I worked for all the bigger brands like ICICI Prudential, BMW, Yes Bank, uh, PNG, Hindustan Unilever, even for TCS, and maybe 100 plus startups for that matter. I worked almost everywhere around the globe. I mean, projects around the globe. I've talked to the business guys at US, Canada, UK, uh, Dubai, I mean, entire Saudi, Switzerland. Uh, I'm not sure. I'm sure I missed a lot. But yeah, even South Africa for that matter. So that's about me. That's a little introduction. I mean, sorry, it went on a little longer. Sorry for that, but yeah, that's about myself. And now moving ahead to the next part, which is the most important part of our journey. So the reason why we have this particular slide here is if we don't have these 3 steps that we are going to see right now, it's going to be very difficult for every one of you all to design, to become a designer, to understand the problem, and to give the solutions. Whether you guys do UX in the future or you guys do UI in the future, we all have to follow these 3 steps. I still follow these steps till date, right? So the very first important part of the design of UI UX is your portfolio. All right. If you think, I'll be very honest, if you guys feel that after this course you'll get the job immediately, it's like an IIT course, it's like school where, right after the school you get admission in the college, right after college you get admission in the jobs. So it's not going to happen that way. I'll be very clear. It's not going to happen that way. Because in the field of UI UX, it's all about portfolio. I have students from my first batch who are still jobless. I'll be very honest. I don't mind saying it because it's the fact, right? I don't want to give any false hopes that after this course immediately you will be able to, crack a job. No, that's not going to happen. So how it can happen then? If you have a portfolio. So in these 3 months, if you constantly, continuously, sincerely work on the portfolio, work on the assignments that I provide, work closely with me. If you are done with your assignments, ask for new assignments, do all of those stuff. That will help you build your portfolio. And once you have your portfolio in place, right? That is when you can definitely get a job, right? So the very first thing to build a portfolio now is sincerity. The very first sincerity that we need is attending the lectures and completing the assignments on time. All right. We need the very first thing, that is sincerity. I hope everyone here is sincere because you guys are already working professionals. You know the gravity of the situation. You know the market. You know the competition in this field. So I request every one of you all to please be sincere. Don't take it for granted. If you are really willing to switch your job, if you are really willing to switch your career for that matter, yeah. And then with sincerity, the last thing that we need is a consistency. Now, when we say sincere, everyone will feel, that I'm attending the lectures regularly, I'm giving the assignments on time. But here, when I say consistency, you have to design every single day. So if I give you an assignment, make sure you sit every single day, work on your assignment, send it back to me, take more assignments. If you have any doubts, ping me on WhatsApp. I'll help you with the issues immediately. And make sure you sit with your designs, you sit with Figma, you sit with your task every single day, right? Only then you can build your portfolio. If you feel that, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I will do it maybe starting from Monday, it's not going to happen. The time is now. You have to start now. It may sound a little philosophical, but that's the truth. I've seen many guys in my career who they feel they are designers, but they are not. Right? Many times, I'm not sure who from you guys who all knows Figma, right? But honestly, knowing Figma does not mean that you know UI UX. Okay, so don't be under the impression that if you know UI UX, you know Figma. That's not how it goes, right? So to build your portfolio, you need sincerity, you need consistency. Okay. Now coming to the main part, what is UI UX? So if you divide UI UX, it is called as UI UX, but to be very honest, the journey starts from the UX first and then the UI. So we'll talk a little about user experience. Any doubts, any questions so far? Anyone? Feel free to raise your hands and I can pick out the names. Anyone? Yes, Nitin.
Sir, in case if we miss any lecture, then we will get any recording of the lecture of that particular.
Yes. Yes, so all the lectures will be recorded and the recording will be sent to each and everyone. Yeah. Any other doubts? Or we can continue. Okay. So it seems no doubt. So we can probably continue. All right, cool. So user experience. So if you use Android phones, if you use iPhones, right? iOS for that matter, then it can be your phone, it can be your tablets, it can be your Mac, right? Why iPhone is different? Why Dyson? Everyone knows Dyson, right? They are the apple of hair. They are the apple of these electrical items like blow dries and what we call it as vacuum cleaners, etc. They are called as the apple of these stuff. Why those are so expensive? Correct. Then, if you go to a five-star hotel and if you go to a normal restaurant, why there's a difference? So it's the experience that matters. It's the experience that matters. Even though you create a beautiful looking restaurant, but whenever you go to a five-star hotel, you feel something different. Different. No matter how expensive Android phone you use, but the moment you use iPhone, now this is subjective, but still, being the UI UX designer, I understand the nitty-gritties of it. That's why I can say, that when you use iPhone, there are certain experience that iPhone has or the iOS has that Android does not, right? The small micro animations, the small haptic sounds, the small haptic vibrations, all of those create the experience. The third of the user behavior, that how seamless, how no-brainer apps can I build using iOS. So that's the experience, right? So it's all about the experience when it comes to UX. It's not only about the wireframe. It's not only about the layout and the black and white structure of it, right? It's about the overall feel of the app, of the website, of the platform, whatever we build, right? So I really love this quote. It's how user interacts with experience and experience a product, system, or a service. So if you look at a kiosk, right, it is always easier compared to maybe difficult platforms or computers or DOS that we had before, correct? So uh, a ticket operator sitting behind the window has more difficult or more complex UI compared to the kiosk, right? That's the experience. Because if a normal user can use it, that means it has to be simple, right? Now, these are a few examples of UX. So, why UX is about research? UX is about thought process. UX is about thinking. So, if you see, there is a common thing in the entire screen that we see right now. So if you notice, all the logos are on the left, right? Why is it? If you see the search options are prominent, why? You'll see that the options are segregated into different groups. Why? So all of that are part of UX, not the UI. There is a reason behind everything. So when we of course jump to the navigation part of the UX, we'll talk about all of these. But then look at it closely. The hamburger menu in the library screen that we have, right? This one. Now, is it easier for us to click on that hamburger menu on the top, or is it easier for us to navigate through the bottom bar? Of course, the bottom bar, right? Why? Because that's now connected to the user behavior. That when we use our phones, we use the thumb, and everything that is closer to the thumb, correct? Correct. That's a better experience. Now, what should be there in the thumb area? The frequently used things. Notifications, it cannot be frequently used. I don't want users to go back to the notification again and again unless we are on Instagram. But even Instagram has it on the top because that's the norm. So in the UX terminology, we call it as cognitive load. Okay. आज के लिए हो सकता है थोड़ा आंसर जाए. You guys feel that oh it is overwhelming, I won't be able to do it. Don't worry. It's just that it's a monologue right now. You may not be aware about some of the words. You may feel, oh, itna sara karna hai. It has too much to think about, too much to learn about. No, don't worry about that. So we will be doing this entire process with the help of a project. So that we break down the entire process. We do it how we work for the clients, and it's always easier to then achieve to our destination, right? Moving to the next part. So if you look at this code closely, this exactly explains what is user experience, right? So good design is like a refrigerator when it works. Do we ever feel that refrigerator is not working right or refrigerator में ये issue है वो issue है? No, because if it is working, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा what we feel the problem is the light. चाहे तो light बंद हो सकता है. उसके अलावा we don't feel any problem. But and no one even notices कि वो चालू उसका switch हमेशा चालू होता है. That's the only switch that is on 24/7 at our houses. That's the refrigerator. We never notice it. We never notice our refrigerator how it feels, correct? But we do notice it when it stops working. Why? Because if the refrigerator stops working, he stops to do his job. Everything inside starts thinking. That is when we know, oh, refrigerator stopped working. We need to do something about it. Correct? A good design is just like that. If you are using it and if you don't feel any problem, it's a good design. But the moment you start thinking, oh, what do I do? Where should I go? These questions. Oh, where do I find it? or it is very difficult, or it is very confusing. The moment the users get these questions in their mind, the design is bad. It's a bad design. Even though it may look good, but the design is bad because the overall experience is not good, right? Any questions, any doubts so far? Anyone? Raise your hands and I can call out your name. किसको लग रहा है कि थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया, थोड़ा ओवरलोड हो गया? एनीवन? या किसी को फील हो रहा हो कि नहीं नहीं मुझसे ये नहीं होगा, आई नीड टू बैक आउट? नो वन? गुड, थैंक यू सो मच. So in UX, we now have UX laws also. Of course, we are not going to cover that today. But UX laws, it's like a Bible. That it's like a Bible where there is solution to every problem. Okay, when we talk about the UX laws, how many items should be there in a particular screen, why this particular item should be on the top, why we should have groups, all of those stuff. How I can make it simplified. There's a concept called as KISS, KISS, keep it super simple, right? How do I achieve that? What's the cognitive load? What's the Gestalt principle? Everything. All of that would be part of UX laws. So we'll have a special lecture for that. So don't worry about that right now. But just covering as to what all things are we going to cover. Along with the the UX laws, we also have the behavioral science. Now this is something which is really interesting because UX is a sorry, I went on mute. So, what was the last did you guys hear? I am not sure when I was on mute. Did you guys hear about the UX laws?
Yeah, UX.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, perfect. Then it's fine. So, yes, so I repeat that when it comes to UX, it's more about understanding the users and giving the solutions to the business. Okay, why so? Because always what happens is in the whoever are the developers, they will understand this. That whenever we get a problem, we get a scope of work, we get the requirement, we start building it. We start thinking from the development perspective, what all technology do we want to use, what's the database, what's the front end language, what's the back end language, etc., etc., etc. So that is going to give me the solution for the business. But the developers, what they don't think is how easy can we make it for the users, right? That's the job of a UX designer. That's why we come into the picture to make it easier for the user. And I always say this: UX designer have to be super lazy. Okay, why? Because only lazy guys can find out solutions easily. Correct? Lazy guys can find out easy solutions rather. That how can I do something in a very simple way so that I don't have to put much effort, right? So that is why maybe that is one of the reason why I like UX more because I am super lazy. Okay, so when we talk about behavioral science, it is about understanding the behavior of the user. It is about understanding their subconscious mind, their psychology. Okay, that in this particular state of mind, what would the user do? In this particular state of mind, what user, how the user would react. No? So all of that is part of the behavioral science. So that is going to be super interesting as to how this particular factor of behavioral science takes the level of design to next level. Okay. So we are going to cover the concepts of behavioral science also. So to sum it up, what all things we are going to cover in user experience, that is UX. First is user research, the general research, the user personas, the journeys of individual personas. Then based on those individual journeys, we create a consolidated information architecture. And finally, we move it to the wireframes. Okay. Now, Honestly, though these terms are different, we say UI, UX or UX, UI, whatever. But honestly speaking, technically, UI is actually part of UX. Okay, how? Because even when the UI designers start designing, they make beautiful UIs, they make beautiful layouts. Okay, as a UX designer, you still have to check whether the desired design or the output is good enough for the users or not. You know, because UI designers will create something that is beautiful, but user experience guys will create something that is more usable. Okay, so that is why I always say, and it is not just me who says that, right? Uh, it is not just me who says that. That UX, sorry, UI is actually part of UX. Okay, cool. Any doubts? Anyone so far for the UX? Any doubts? Any concerns? Any queries? Questions? No one? I've got a super smart batch here. So I'll tell you one more thing. The more you ask, the more you learn. So don't think that it's going to be the first lecture, sir, बाद में सिखाने ही वाले हैं, we'll see it later. Nice on math or recording देख लेंगे. No, I would say ask it right there and there. If you have a doubt, raise your hands. There is this option at the bottom to raise your hands, right? So raise your hands. I'll come to know if you guys have any doubts, and I'll take up your questions one by one. Okay, this applies throughout the lectures. So user research basically is just understanding the psyche of the user, and UI is designing it. So not just that, it's about understanding the target audiences. It's about understanding their demographics. It's about understanding their state of mind. It's about understanding their psychology, and then giving solutions to each of them. Any other questions? No? All right. So I think we can move on. So the next segment is the user interface. So all of these that we saw right now, we are going to cover that in the each and every lecture also, one by one, step by step, using the help of a project. Okay. So the next segment is user interface. What is user interface? It's very simple. What we see on the screen right now. So right now, if you guys see the Google Meet screen, it has colors, it has icons, right? The on the top you have the organization icon. Next to it we have the recording icon. Next to it we have the transcript icon. Then we have who is presenting. We have a prominent button of stop presenting. Correct. The buttons are colored. The edges are rounded. You know. Then there is a hell lot of icons at the bottom. They are segregated. We have the name on the left. Some more icons on the right. Correct. Now, why we have those on the left, on the right, on the center? That is part of the UX. But the type of the icons used, the radius of the boxes, the colors inside the buttons, the colors inside the profiles, all of that is part of the UI. What you see on top of UX is the UI. Okay. What you see on top of UX is the UI. But it is not about coloring the wireframes. Please be very clear. We create wireframes and then we move it to the UI stage. That does not mean that adding colors to the wireframe is UI. No, it's not that. So in the UI, we have to take care of the grid system, of the color theory, of the typography, of the graphics, be it images, icons, you know, it's the prototype, the end-to-end clickable prototype, and the micro animations, right? So all of these together build out user interface. So for example, if you see the screen right now, correct? So if someone raises their hand, there's a small animation of the hand. So that's called as a micro animation, right? If I click on a particular button, it takes me to a different screen. That's the prototype. the icons that we see, the photos that we see, those are all graphics. The fonts that we see are the typography. The different colors that we see on the screen, red, which is to leave the call, it's always highlighted, right? So we see the color theory, and then everything you see on the screen is following a particular grid. So if you see on the top, left, right, bottom, there is the space which is always left. That is called as the padding, the margin, and then there is grid defines for different layouts. So all of these are then comprised to called as a UI, user interface, right? So Vinti, you had some doubt.
Sorry, sir, to ask, but may I know what are wireframes?
Yes, for sure. So okay. So let me share that with an example. Oops, there's something wrong. I Oh, I see. This new update to Figma. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you can still see my screen.
Sir.
Yes. So this was for a mobile app. Okay. So what you see right now, correct? It is grayscale. It is just the layout. You know where and what we should have on the top. We should have the uh, top bar, the personalization, the stories, the top rated profiles, the categories. So we don't really have all the icons and pictures out here. We only have the placeholders. So this is called as a wireframe where we only build out the structure of the page, okay, and not the actual design. So the actual design looks something like this. You see the difference? Where you have, the proper shadows, the images, the graphics, the final icons. So this is the UI, okay. But of course, this was a very uh, quicker sort of a UI. The UIs can be a little more complex, but this was just to give an example, right? So this is how a wireframe looks like. Just give me a second. Always my system stuff. All right. So someone raise their hands, or so did someone raise their hands, or someone sent a message? Nothing. So Vinti, does this help you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Nitin.
सर आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन. जैसे अभी वायर फ्रेमिंग का पूछा सर, मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन यही था. मैंने सर एक यूआई यूएक्स का एक फ्री कोर्स लिया था पहले. तो वायर फ्रेमिंग बेसिकली सर स्केचिंग जो करते हैं हम, तो वो एक या तो प्रॉपर टूल से जैसे आप बता रहे हो तो इस तरीके से भी कर सकते हैं, या फिर वैसे ही होती है वायर फ्रेमिंग जो हम स्केचिंग करते हैं, जिसमें हम ये
Right.
डिसाइड करते हैं कि यहाँ पे ये बॉक्स आएगा या फिर ये सर्कल रहेगा.
So there are two ways of doing it. One is the traditional way, which is the way you have, the line. So you have the line, and then you have the doing it. So one is called as a low fidelity wireframe, जहाँ पर आप सिर्फ rough sketch कर देते हो, you know. So that's the low fidelity wireframe. Now what you see right now on the screen is a high fidelity wireframe.
Okay,
This
okay,
means where we have used the proper grid, we have proper boxes and everything. In low fidelity wireframe, you don't even bother about the sizes. You just have a box. That's it. So a low
okay,
fidelity wireframe can look something like this. If I have to give you an example, right? So I won't even add this for that matter. I will just have this. I'll simply write, here, header. Now this is my low fidelity